Hello and welcome to coverage of Grand Prix Oklahoma City. Marshall Sutcliffe in the booth with Randy Bueller. And we are underway in round number 6, where Steve Rubin, Platinum Pro, competed the World Championships. He's kind of a spicy one for us here, Randy. I don't know what to make of this deck.
Number 17 ranked player in the world, if memory serves.
Now he's facing Chen, who's on Jund, but I need to know what in the world this deck is all about, Randy, because
I don't know. Look,
it's hard just looking at the list to figure out what it does.
It's got 4 copies of Return to the Ranks, although it's called Return from the Ranks in his typed up and emailed in deck list. Card Return to the Ranks.
He doesn't even know.
He doesn't even know what. No one knows what this card does. It's got 3 copies of Abzan Ascendancy.
It has 3
copies of Abzan Ascendancy. Yes.
Yeah, this is a sacrifice deck, right? I mean, This is all about
Cartel Aristocrat, Tesa, Blood Artist, Tukatung Thalid.
What?
Viscera Seer.
This is running Tukatung Thalid?
Yes.
Like the worst Doom Traveler ever?
Well, I mean, it's Doom Traveler's number 5 and 6. What do you want from me?
Yeah, so Return to the Ranks. This is from M15.
What do you think Chen is thinking as his opponent plays Satyr Wayfinder and spills Voice, Sculler, Return to the Ranks into the graveyard?
I think he's thinking, sweet, I got to buy this round.
Yeah, but it's Steve Rubin.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't know. That's his only hope.
He knows he got called to the feature match area.
That's a good point. Yeah, he might know.
Yeah, 4 Blood Artist. Now, is there a
That's
loop?
a win condition.
Does Viscera Seer loop with something? I mean, Eternal Witness? I don't see the, like there's not a persist combo. There are no persist creatures. I feel like there might be a loop here.
You don't need to have too many things die under a Blood Artist to get the job done.
Yeah, right. And maybe that the loop is just enough.
Yeah.
What exactly does Abzan Ascendancy say?
Well, all your creatures get a +1/+1 counter when it enters the battlefield.
Right.
And when a non-token creature dies...
Right, but it's only the non-token creature, so it doesn't go infinite.
Right.
I look forward to watching.
This is sweet. Yeah, I love seeing the... here's a Convoke spell. It's Return to the Ranks.
Yeah.
So it says return X target creature cards with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So he's casting it for 2 here.
For Tidehauler, Sculler, and Voice of Resurgence. That seems okay.
Now, it looks like there may be
Scavenging Ooze. Scavenging Ooze.
Oh, Ooze is going to gobble up.
Yeah, this is...
something.
Scavenging Ooze cannot possibly be good for the Return to the Ranks. Though.
No, I'm wondering, how graveyard dependent this Return to the Ranks deck is. Like, if they play whatever, like a Rest in Peace, are you just done? Until you can kill it. All right, here's Tidehauler Sculler, though, to get us a look at what Chen is working with, and it looks like he's got an Abrupt Decay, and is that a Terminate there?
I think so.
Maybe a Terminate. 3 lands as well.
I mean, both removal spells kill the Sculler, so this is to decide which one is more awkward for Cliff to cast.
Terminate.
I think we should call the deck Return from the Ranks. That's clearly what Steve Rubin has called it on his deck list. I like the implication, the flavor implication that the ranks are in the graveyard, not the battlefield. Graveyard's where the real action is.
Interestingly, they are here. There's 2 of them. All right, so Abrupt Decay is going to get that Terminate back in hand for Chen. Clear the way for an attack for 3, make it 4.
Yeah, the Scavenging Ooze
this thing's going to do work.
Indeed.
Chen runs full 4 Scavenging Ooze in the main deck, so
oh wow,
those will be around.
Yeah, I feel like the average Jund deck is something like 2 in the main, 1 on the board.
Yep. I've seen 1. Rubin going for the snow covered forest here.
That's what he has.
He's got all snow covered. Is there a reason other than style points?
I think it's just style points.
Yeah.
Here's Collected Company.
Well, this is one of his big engines here.
Yeah, and it's obviously is not disrupted by Scavenging Ooze. It's just value.
Speaking of value, Tide Hollow Sculler and a Voice of Resurgence. Jeez.
Not bad.
That's what he wanted to get before with the Return to the Ranks. He gets
Yeah,
it
it's funny
now.
how Return to the Ranks makes you want CMC 2 or less. Right? Collected Company could get 3 drops, but the deck doesn't want 3 drops.
Interesting.
It's all 2 drops, and you're like, good enough.
You know, that is funny because, you know, Modern being such a big format, the 2 drops are performers.
Good enough.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, it's only 3 Collected Company.
Mm.
But yeah, it's all... I mean, there's an Eternal Witness. It's mostly 2 drops that you're going to be getting with the Collected Company, not 3s.
And he's running Viscera Seer.
4.
Full 4 here, huh?
Yeah, full 4 Viscera Seer and 4 Blood Artist. That's clearly
There's a thing there.
the engine-y part.
Yeah.
And Return to the Ranks, obviously.
I mean, it makes sense. You know, you were talking about the Obzon Ascendancy. I mean, it just doubles up all of those if you have that those 2 cards out. You sack it, you get another creature to sack it, so now everything's 2, and that's double triggers on Blood Artist. It adds up quickly. And, you know, Steve Rubin's put himself in a nice position here, too. He's got a Voice of Resurgence on the battlefield, and he took away the Terminate with his Tide Hollow Sculler, leaving Cliff Chen with no removal in hand, though he did top deck a Lightning Bolt, which isn't bad.
That's a good
here.
draw.
Yeah.
I mean, Cliff can play defense if he wants to, though, right? Like, Scavenging Ooze is way bigger than anything Steve has.
Yeah, it looks like
And
he
even
wants to beat down, though.
Even the Treetop can block.
And these Scullers keep getting killed and eaten. And this Scavenging Ooze,
I don't know that
game's
Cliff...
kind of revolving around that right now.
I don't know that Cliff understands everything that's going on with Steve's list, but he's pretty sure eating creatures from the graveyard is good.
He might just kill the Voice here. He played his land untapped, either to leave it back for Treetop Village to block or to use Terminate now. He doesn't want to let Steve untap. It looks like he just passes the turn back now. Is that a Doom Traveler for Rubin? No, he's got that Tide Hollow Sculler again. His Terminate has been under 2 different Tide Hollow Scullers. Let's make it a 3rd.
Yep.
There it is.
Go ahead.
And no attacks because Cliff Chen played that Stomping Ground as untapped. It bought him a bunch of life there.
Yep. He's just eating random cards now. It's like, I don't know. I may as well spend my mana.
It is hard to blame him. He draws another land off the top, so Cliff Chen flooding a little bit here, and Steve Rubin has done an admirable job of fighting off the spot removal. But it doesn't really
surviving
have
the ooze.
Yeah, surviving the ooze so far, but it does feel like he's like, where does this go from here, right? Like, now if he draws Return to the Ranks, it doesn't do much.
Collected Company still
Collected
good.
Company seems sweet.
Even Obzon Ascendancy is okay.
Oh, Obzon Ascendancy would be nice. It's got to be so good against these Jund decks that are just looking to pick off all your creatures on a one-for-one basis. All right, so TTV, Treetop Village, is going to hit the red zone, and Rubin, I think, is going to consider a block here. How important is the Voice of Resurgence at this point? I mean, he knows that Cliff is out of removal spells. He can cash in 2 creatures here, still have an even bigger creature from the Voice of Resurgence token.
This is an upgrade.
This is the upgrade on both creatures, and he gets rid of a pretty annoying one. Yeah, it works too. Look at that.
I mean, it's food for the ooze, but yeah, both creatures upgrade.
So he gets a 4/4 and a 1/1 flyer rather than a 2/2 and a 1/1. That's nice. Yeah, the ooze, though, looks hungry. Might as well play that Forest Cliff.
Let me return to the ranks again.
What does this do?
I think he's worried that if Steve's holding one, can he cast it as a response? I don't know. Is it an instant or
It's a
sorcery?
sorcery, yeah.
Okay.
So he can't do that. But I'm pretty sure that's what Cliff Chen was checking.
Dryad Arbor. Sure. Let's fetch out a Dryad Arbor.
All right. Well, it does make the voice.
It does. The elemental token is
yeah.
even bigger.
I believe that was a Cartel Aristocrat for Steve Rubin off the top.
Of course it was. It's a one of, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's a 1-0. Ooh, the flyer can start attacking.
And there's Cartel Aristocrat. So he can sacrifice another creature to give Cartel Aristocrat protection from the color of his choice until end of turn. Ooze, trying to feed the ooze. So the ooze is a 7/7, but the elemental is a 6/6.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the ooze can attack.
I think you're right. Yeah, he doesn't. He just passes the turn back.
And now Steve start trying to attack with Aristocrat? No, just a flyer.
Yeah.
Kind of likes all those creatures, especially while he's got the elemental token.
Yeah. You can see how Satyr Wayfinder works here too. Really nice when you need a sacrifice outlet, plus you always want to hit your land drops, and it dumps a bunch of stuff into the graveyard. That's triple threat right there, Satyr Wayfinder. Modern
feels like
playable?
you took a... I mean, it's got elements of the Rally the Ancestors deck, except none of the cards.
Right.
I guess the Wayfinder is the only
Wayfinder's
overlap
the
card.
connection, yeah.
The
All right,
standard deck.
there's an Inquisition of Kozilek
It's like,
here.
what's going on?
No.
Okay, sure.
But right now, Steve Rubin is the one who's ahead on board, even if it is just slightly. Steve's going to drop to 5 here. He figures the difference between 7 and 6 is big, but the difference between 6 and 5 isn't. So he's just going to go get a land out of his library in the hopes of drawing something that isn't a land. The Spirit's doing good work here, just chipping away. More lands, though, for Steve Rubin as he passes the turn back. And a Thoughtseize now for Cliff. Interestingly, Steve did play the land that Cliff had seen, so it is a little tempting for Cliff to fire it off, though. I think he figures whatever it was probably would have been cast anyway. Marsh Flats gets cracked to go find a Godless Shrine. So again, more lands coming out of the library for Rubin, who's really just looking to draw some action.
Right, yeah. I think he's done thinning now, because like you say, the difference between those multiples of 3 is important against a deck that has a lightning bolt.
And he finds the Voice of Resurgence.
Pretty good.
It's nice. He also can sacrifice it to make it huge at some point here. Get another big elemental.
Now that elemental's at 7 now?
It's a 7/7 now, and there's no more creatures in the yard
so
either.
you can attack into ooze with your 7/7, right?
Totally.
Seems like you attack into ooze with a 7/7.
I think so. Oh yeah. Just those two. Wow, take 8. Ouch. It's half your life total, Cliff Chen. You can only do that one more time. Huh. You find Kolagon's command. Well, what does that get him?
We actually have a situation where it's not a 2-for-1? No, it's still a 2-for-1. You can get the Tide Hollow Scholar.
Yeah, you can kill the Sculler as an artifact or do 2 with it.
Doesn't really want to mess with Steve's draw step while there's a voice in play, of course.
Yeah, Cliff does not know what that last card is in hand for Rubin, but I think if I'm in Cliff's seat, I assume it's nothing too concerning, given the amount of mana that Rubin has.
Yeah, I
And
mean, it
that
seems
he
like you need
knows
to
that
kill
he-
some number of creatures here.
Agreed.
Shrink the elemental below your scavenging ooze, kill the Tide Hollow Sculler, which gets back your Terminate.
So he can destroy an
Skull,
artifact
okay.
and do 2 to the
To the voice.
voice if he wants.
So Steve's going to get an
helps.
elemental, but
Yeah.
I think Cliff knows he was going to have to slog his way through that elemental eventually.
So he's just going to use the terminate that he's going to get back to take out one of the elementals, and
Right.
then it looks like he's stabilized.
That's the idea. I mean, Steve's back down to the 1/1 flyer chipping away. And
Yeah.
by the way, the aristocrat.
The aristocrat, if he wants, I mean, that can close out the game, but Rubin's also at 4 and can't take a hit from the use. He's just going to...
Yeah, I mean, gave the aristocrat propeller. Sure. Why not? The creatures are dying anyway.
All right, he got back his terminate. Did Cliff.
And no longer a voice, so he can wait on the terminate.
Yep. It is a little awkward to wait just because it does mean the Cartel Aristocrat can get protection. But looks like no attacks anyway, so in comes the Spirit Token, and we're back on plan A here for Steve Rubin. And here's some food again for the ooze, which is now massive. It's a 9/9. Goodness.
Confidant.
Is that what he wants to see here?
It seems a little scary.
Probably still just running
Maybe.
out.
Yeah, maybe you have to. It's also a second color creature against the aristocrat. Yeah, run it out there.
I like it. And he's just going to pass the turn back. All right, so Steve Rubin draws his card for the turn. What did you find?
Tesa. Sack 3 white creatures to remove a creature from the game.
Yes. Which he can absolutely do here. Whenever
Well,
another
Cliff
black
is going
creature
to terminate while it's on the stack, but sure.
Yeah, whenever another black creature you control is put into your graveyard from play, you get a 1/1 white spirit creature token. Creature token with flying. Is Rubin going to use Tesa here? Is he deciding if he wants to keep elemental or?
I thought Cliff was responding to Tesa with his terminate,
Oh,
but maybe not. Oh, he's sacking to aristocrat. Yeah, that was Cliff responding to Tesa, saying, I knew I'm going to kill this elemental. Let me just do that before I give you more options. So the aristocrat did pick up protection from one of those colors. So what is it? It's 3 white creatures?
yeah. Now, Tesa is a white creature.
And she can sacrifice herself.
Yeah, it's not 3 other white creatures. It's 3 white creatures.
I mean, the Scavenging Ooze is gigantic. Maybe you do kill the Scavenging Ooze.
Kill the ooze, get in with the Cartel Aristocrat.
Looks to me like Cartel Aristocrat is getting sacrificed to Tesa.
I think you're right.
I mean, Cartel Aristocrat, or Tesa, yeah. Okay, here's the attack. So I'm guessing it's pro-green on the Aristocrat.
Must be.
He's offering an exchange if Cliff wants to block with Bob.
Yeah, it also opens up the door, though, for Rubin to sacrifice the Wayfinder to keep his Cartel Aristocrat.
True.
I think Rubin would like to trade Wayfinder for Bob here.
You're right.
Given the
He totally
opportunity.
would. And Cliff sees through it.
Down to 6. This has been a sweet game, by the way. Really tight.
Keep looking for the combo in this deck list.
Yeah, I don't know. If
Don't think it's a combo. I think it's just You don't combo kill them, you just deal enough. All right, sack 3 white creatures. Down goes Scavenging
And since one of them was black with Cartel Aristocrat, he's also going to get a spirit token. Now, if you sacrifice Teysa to herself, you don't get the spirit token perfect.
She's not there to see herself at the graveyard.
Right. But you can still do it as a white creature. So if you just need to get rid of something, you can. And interestingly, Teysa's a 2/3. You know, which can just sort of quietly rumble right past Bob there. All right, a Raging Ravine, which is also lethal, by the way. Now, another thing we have to remember is that Dryad Arbor kind of hiding.
Yep.
And it's not hiding anymore. Oh, there's a Viscera Seer. So what now? Team? And that Raging Ravine is a 4/4 if it gets active and gets to attack. Rubin's at 4. This attack's only for 5. Wow. Everybody but the Viscera Seer, which he just cast, is in.
Which is just 5 power, right?
Yeah. I think Cliff can just shrug and say, sure.
I mean, it means Guard Confidant is very scary.
Good point.
He goes to 2 with a Confidant in play, so he's not interested in
Nah,
that.
you're right. Yeah, that is too
Trades
risky.
off the Confidant instead. Goes to 3 without a Confidant. Would have died if he'd gone to 2 with
Needs a
Confidant in
removal
play.
spell, does
He
Cliff
drew Abrupt
Chen.
Decay, if I saw
Oh, then he
correctly.
just wins, right? Abrupt Decay or Viscera Seer, activate Raging Ravine, kill you?
Isn't that Abrupt Decay?
Yeah. Oh. He passed the turn. Oh, because the Dryad... No, the Dryad was tapped because it attacked. I thought he had it there. Maybe I'm missing something, but I thought he had it. Well, there's only one blocker back for Rubin. So here's Abrupt Decay to take down Teysa.
Oh, hilarious. So, Viscera Seer can be sacrificed to itself, right?
Right.
Which creates a white creature, which would be a 3rd white creature, so that you could then sack to kill Raging Ravine. That's what you were missing.
Ah, it creates a 1/1 flying spirit token.
Yes. Because in fact, with this Abrupt Decay, Steve is responding to Abrupt Decay, targeting his own Teysa by upgrading his creatures into 1/1 flying white spirit tokens. Viscera Seer lets him sacrifice anything he wants. He started out thinking about sacking the Viscera Seer, but he's like, no, I think I might upgrade Dryad Arbor too.
That's mean.
It's pretty heads up. The Cliff didn't fall for that. Like, Steve had dug a hole, put some brush over the top of it.
Yeah,
Just
come on in.
kill my Viscera Seer, and I mean, I guess it's not that hard to see. Viscera Seer dying. You don't need any shenanigans. It's just Teysa would turn it into a spirit token.
It's true. And that's it. Steve
Crazy.
Rubin wins this thing.
Tight one, just barely.
4-2.
2-4 at the end. Yeah,
Wow.
had a blocker for the Raging Ravine on the last turn. Had the crackback.
You know, one of the things about this Jund deck is how good the sideboard is there for Cliff Chen, and he is now just going to have to figure out how in the heck he sideboard against Rubin's deck here. All right. Reduke. Sitting at
Reduke.
5-0 on Zoo.
4-color Zoo. Hand me the deck list. I
Against
haven't seen his list, but
here's the list.
I saw the label of 4-color Zoo. I see Night of the Reliquary. I see red. So you got blue mana?
Yeah, I
there's
think
blue mana in play.
Yeah, they often run like Geist of St. Traft.
Yeah, it's 4 Geist, 2 Bant Charm,
There we go.
and 2 Elspeth Knight Errant.
Oh, really? That's their
Yeah.
late game.
Indeed. Cool.
I haven't seen this Zoo deck in quite a while in Modern. It's always kind of floating around, but it hasn't really done much in years. And as you can see, as a Rift Bolt comes off of Suspend, Larry Lee's on burn. Draws himself a Lightning Bolt.
Game 3, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to hear that this is game 3 after we just finished.
That was a
game
long
1.
one.
Yeah, it was a long one, and this is not. Zoo versus Burn. Duke is chipping away with the Noble Hierarch here. He's got 4 cards in his hand. What is he doing? This deck tops out at 3 mana, 4 mana for the Elspeth. You don't really need that much. Could
Is he
be
just
flooding
flooded?
here,
Yeah.
Down
Hasn't
to
exactly
10.
been missing land drops. Both players going straight to 6 from the looks of it.
Nicodle off the top here for Larry.
Oh, his burn deck has Nicodles in it?
Yeah, that happens. We've actually got a deck tech.
Yeah, Nicodle, Swiftsphere, Goblin Guide, Eidolon.
Yeah.
Atarka's Command.
But in our deck tech,
Sounds very similar. You did Jasper, right?
Jasper
Johnson
he
at the time?
doesn't like Wild Nicodle.
Okay.
He cut him. These have become somewhat standard in this deck, and he's like, nope. He's running a Vexing Devil in there, too. It's kind of cool. Well, Hierarch's done 3 damage since we came on, but Reed Duke with his Zoo deck has also not missed a land drop. He's up to 7 lands now. This is not where this thing wants to be. But interestingly, Larry Lee is just drawing cards and passing the turn. Looks like he's got a Tarkus Command Lightning Bolt in hand. So that's good for over half of Reed's life total right there. Huh. Now Reed's trying something that's giving him some pause here.
Do
All right.
we hang out here to see
Yeah,
the
let's
resolution? It's
just-
game 3, right?
I want to see how this goes. Yeah, this is a game 3. We'll hang out here. The first match is back underway, but we'll jump back over to it right when we get a good feel for where this one ends up going. These ones usually end in a big flurry. Burn, 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 you're dead. Well, Reed's drawn something that he wants to cast. It's about time. We haven't seen him cast a spell since we came on the match. He's just bashing with the Noble Hierarch for 1. Plain lands. Is this a Geist? Reed's really perplexed by this scenario here. He's a thinking player, but usually you don't see him in the tank this long. He's really grinding this one out. And he's decided to play a Knight of the Reliquary.
Aha.
Which is already a 3/3, and it can become, looks like a 5/5 when he wants it to. He's got a Wooded Foothills and an Aaron Mesa just hanging out there.
Oh, nice.
All right, this is good. So you can see
Live
our
looking
main matches on the lower right-hand side.
That
if
was
you'd
Bolt Your
rather
Face
keep
for
it
Larry
up.
Lee, right?
Yeah. Putting Reed down to 8, virtual 5. Ooh, Larry's drawn a heck of a lot of lands here too. He's on land 8 in a burn deck. So a weird draw from both of these players in game 3. Neither of them want to see this happen. But since they both are flooding out, we actually get to see a real game here. Second copy of Noble Hierarch. And this is the 2-turn clock now. It's already a 3/3, and then he's getting 2 Exalted triggers, so that's 5. Oh, it's Deflecting Palm that he has.
What?
Oh no, Reed Duke fans, big sigh there because that's brutal.
Wow. Is his last card a Tarkus command for
Yeah.
the last 3?
Yeah. Which
Deflecting Palm.
Yep.
I keep seeing this card as this like random one of and burn sideboards. This is the game where it's actually going to do its thing?
No, I think it's going to get Bant Charmed here. Yeah.
Really?
Bant Charmed. Counter target instant.
Wow.
That's
a big game.
Huge. Yes.
Deflecting Palm? Nope. Bant
Like
Charm
that
it.
might
Take
be
your
the
fight.
game.
That was the game.
Yeah, because Larry's now at 4 and
And-
can't take another hit from the knight.
And Reed's fully at 8.
Yeah. All right, Swift Spear.
Sure.
Swift Spear pass.
Yeah, it wants to block.
He wants to block. He wants to chump block and try to draw more burn spells. Wow. Reed Duke with the clutch Pant Charm. Trigger. Path to Exile.
Wow.
And that's it. Wow.
Reed
Both
Duke.
players draw 7, 8 lands that game, but Reed's the one that puts together the win. He's going to improve to 6-0. Let's jump back to our main match. You can see that it's underway in the lower right-hand side. That's Steve Rubin on the left-hand side of your screen.
That's Scavenging Ooze. Once again on the right-hand side of your screen.
Like we said, there's 4 of them in this main deck here. So Cliff's not short on Scavenging Oozes. I'm sure it's gobbled up. Oh, it looks like it's gobbled up 1 creature so far. Tassiger. Wow, Cliff Chen firing on all cylinders here. Look at this. He's got a Tarmogoyf, he's got a Scavenging Ooze, he's got Tassiger, he's got Liliana of the Veil, and even a Ravaging Ravine there in the background, or Raging Ravine in the background, too.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to make Satyr Wayfinder hit the yard here. And poor Steve Rubin just has a Viscera Seer and a couple of Spirit tokens. Not a whole lot going on for him. I think he's got an Abzan Ascendancy in his hand, though. But it doesn't look like he wants to play it this turn. Bolt your Viscera Seer, sack in response. Scries one to the top immediately. Pride Mage hits the bend, and this is going to be a big hit here.
Yeah.
Looks like it's 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
I don't know how you like value
Dear
1/1
God.
flyer, sack a creature, scry your way out of this.
Right. It feels like he needs some over-the-top type card, and I don't think his deck has that. Or maybe even just an over-the-top interaction, like a combo of some sort, which I don't think his deck has either. Rubin's up a game here, remember, so
Yep.
Cliff Chen picks this up, that we're going to get a game 3. And I won't lie, I wouldn't complain about that. Rubin's at 4. Facing down a lot of beef. Going to activate the Ravine here. Make you sack a Spirit. No, he's going to go get a Dryad Arbor in response. It is going to drop him down to 3, though, cracking that Windswept Teeth. He will get to keep both Spirits, but, oh, he didn't. He just got a Forest. All right. Collected Company, maybe?
Ah, that makes sense.
Local company it is. Let's see what he hits. Keeping his options open. Oh, you can see why. There's a voice of resurgence there. Yeah, it's not going to matter, though, because each of Cliff's threats were lethal. And that's going to do it. So Cliff Chen picks up game number 2. Looked like he kind of ran him over there. I mean,
yeah.
By the time we got here, it wasn't that close.
Well, I mean, the turn 2 Scavenging Ooze, and this time it had some friends.
Yep.
Right? In game 1, it was forced to play defense. Steve was able to get a little more going on, and there was no Tarmogoyf to join it. There was no Tassiger to come down alongside and allow him to attack. So now we get a game 3.
I'm in. Back to the sideboards for these gentlemen.
I have no idea how this matchup sideboards. I don't think this is a Burnt and Forge Tender matchup. I'll go out on that one.
Okay. I mean, it could be. He's got bolts, terminates. Well, what do you want?
That was off Pontiff, maybe?
Is that in Rubin's board?
Yes.
I haven't seen that since the birthing pod days.
True.
That card was responsible for some savage blowouts, though, in the birthing pod deck. I wouldn't be surprised to see it pop up here and there. The fairway. All right, Steve, what do you got, buddy? He gives the camera a little look there. Cliff Chen does not look bothered. He is all business over there. Put up a very good fight in game 1, just couldn't quite pull it out. Game 2, he ran him over, so see what happens now. Yeah, it feels like this Return to the Ranks deck should beat John's.
It does.
You know?
Yeah, you should not be able to beat this with a fair deck.
Right.
It just seems like it's so much value. Every card is just value, value, value. And
especially playing into, yes, use your spot removal on my creatures. So they just don't care.
I mean, maybe Junk with Scavenging Ooze doesn't play like a fair deck. It plays like I have an amazing hoser against you deck.
Ooh. Careful, Cliff. That's Steve Rubin. You don't want to give him any more information. Untapped Temple Garden. What does this mean? Voice? No. A Seder Wafer. Oh, but he misses. There's a Blood Artist in the graveyard.
Did he miss?
Did he? I will let you know in a turn or two, Randy.
I think you'd rather have 3 of those in a lane.
It could be.
And there's the Scavenging Ooze. Once again.
People Traveler. Now that's a path in the graveyard there, right?
Yeah.
I must have brought that in. Return to the Ranks. Jeez.
Wow.
Well, I'm starting to get pretty on board for this. The Return to the Ranks for 2, getting back these cards is really
out
great.
from under a Scavenging Ooze.
Yeah.
That was on the play. You tapped out for Scavenging Ooze on turn 2. I will spend my turn 3 putting 2 cards into play for free.
Totally. Okay, Dark Confidant hits the battlefield for Chen, so he's going to start getting that little engine going. And this is where it gets interesting, because can Steve capitalize on this strong start? He's got a nice board, but like an Obzon Ascendancy here? Oh my God, that would be nasty. He'd have 12 power right now. Do it. Yes.
There it is.
This is modern, folks.
Abzan Ascendancy. +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. And whenever your non-tokens die, you get 1/1 spirits.
And in some cases, 2 of them for the Doom Travelers. Look at this. Oh, it's time to rumble, Steve Rubin. Oh, don't count. What are you thinking? You don't want to do that. So he's going to leave back the Wayfinder, maybe. The Ooze does have 1 food target with the Blood Artist that's in the yard. So it can become a 3/3.
Yep.
And it looks like Rubin's going to stay conservative here and only attack with the Voice of Resurgence. Which is going, though, of course, to get an Exalted trigger. So it's a 4/4. And it's going to get through. Take a look at our feature match area here. See Brian Mars on the back table. Oh, Cliff Chen's really got his hands full here.
Abzan Ascendancy.
Yeah,
from Steve Rubin.
there it is. It looks really tough here for Cliff. You know, even a Damnation doesn't get him out of this. And all the spot removal in the world doesn't get him out of this. So looks like he's bailing on the Dark Confidant plan here and just going to rumble with it.
I would like this card to die. Do you want to block it? Steve Rubin says no. Oh. Knight of Soul's Betrayal. All creatures get -1/-1. So Dark Confidant dies. That was the card he flashed at the beginning of the game, actually.
Ah, it was the one that he dropped on the table?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he knew his Dark Confidant was going to die anyway and just tried to mise out 2 damage. And he did.
Or a block.
Yeah.
Like if Steve eats,
Yeah.
if the 3/3 eats the Dark Confidant, then Knight of Soul's Betrayal would kill the 3/3.
And that's huge. The Knight of Soul's Betrayal is a big game, and Rubin has to take care of it here. Does Rubin get his token here? There's a path as well.
Should from the Abzan Ascendancy, right?
Right, like so the trigger goes on, but the thing's already gone by the time the thing comes in, so it should work. Doesn't work.
Oh no, the trigger's above the
your
destruction
trigger goes
effect on the stack. Your thing triggers and goes on the stack. Then Ascendancy triggers because your guy went to the graveyard.
Gotcha.
So
it just dies immediately.
He got a thing that died immediately.
Yep. But in the meantime, he has cleared the way completely and is rumbling for tons of damage here. Cliff Chen down to 6. What is he supposed to do here?
I have no idea. It's just value. Return to the ranks. 1 Abzan Ascendancy. Little dorky creatures that turn into other creatures, and they can all be sacked.
Yeah,
there
and that's
is the
it.
hand.
Steve Rubin,
Wow.
6-0 now with this Return to the Ranks deck. Lots of complicated interactions, too. That's a tough one to commentate. I'm just not used to Abzan Ascendancy being on the table.
As a value card.
As a value card. You know, we've seen it occasionally, but not that often. All right, let's jump back over to our other table. Don't forget to watch the Community Cup, by the way. It's next weekend. Let's see a bunch of your favorite Magic personalities there. All right, well, Brian's on Affinity. What is James Sung on? It's like Twin? Oh, Tarmo Twin, okay. This is game 3. It looks like we're in the middle part of the game here, 4 lands apiece. Can't be good for the Affinity player.
No.
No permanents? Just lands? He's got a Blink Moth. And now with Ghost Quarter. like he might
4
ghost
Hangerback
photo
Walkers into Mars's Affinity list, by the way.
That's aggressive. All right, so he's going to use the Ghost Quarter on the Desolate Lighthouse. And James is going to let it happen. Oh.
What is that grip full of cards?
I mean, he's got at least 2 Ravagers in that grip, I can see right now. There's one of them. This just seems to be playing right into James Sung's plan here, right? Like if Brian's trying to leave up mana sort of perpetually here, James just gets to play a bunch of instant speed stuff on Brian's turn and kind of dictates what happens in this game. He's going to mana leak it. All right.
Is that bait to clear a path for Spellskite?
Might have been. He's got one in his hand. He's also got another Ravager.
Does he also have a land that he didn't play? I saw Nexus.
He's got a Blink Moth. You're right.
He hasn't played a land this turn, right?
No.
Lost a card to Mana Leak when he hadn't played a land, and now, of course, he doesn't play the land.
Oh, no. The shame no play?
I think. I mean, maybe he's holding back cards to sandbag and look scarier, but Dismember kills Spellskite for James Sung.
That's Serum Vision. What a weird game. So no green mana here for James Sung. You know, we do have him marked down as Tarmo Twin.
Yeah, he's got, in addition to the Tarmo
Hey,
Voice,
right on turn.
he's
Right on
even
turn.
got a couple Huntmaster of the Fence.
Oh, geez, he went big.
Fully half a dozen creatures.
All right, well, there's that Blink Moth. What he actually drew for the turn, though, is a Cranial Plating. Oh, I see. So he's been keeping up that blast there? All right.
Now, there can't be much time left in the round. I don't think they're in extra turns yet, but I know that the main floor is in extra turns. It's like they have about 2 minutes left before they get to extra turns.
Okay. Well, Ravager resolves, passes the turn back, but Lightning Bolt is going to threaten it.
Yeah, threaten it. It's tough. Surviving the Lightning Bolt requires firing up a Nexus and eating that. You could just turn a Nexus into a repository for the counters.
Yeah, all right. That's
Doesn't
way
eat
too
either
risky.
Duck or Citadel. Yeah, no, that line makes sense. The question is whether he wanted to eat any Citadels.
There's another Ravager.
Yeah, with
so
another Ravager count coming. The
Yeah.
answer is no. But it may have been the draw for the turn.
one got countered, one got bolted. Vendilion Click is the play here for James Sung. Target you. How can you interact with me? Well, there's your answer. Multiple ways. Got a Dismember as well. Interestingly, James is just going to go ahead and take away the plating, though. Looks like he's not planning on comboing off anytime soon.
Huntmaster.
Wow, there's a Huntmaster of the Fells. Haven't seen that guy in a while. Welcome back to the feature match area, Huntmaster of the Fells. Guess this is where you're going to see that card get play if it's going to. Hangerback Walker. He said he's got 4.
Yeah.
Curious to see if the modern Affinity decks pick up Hangerback Walker. I know some of the top players that are playing Affinity are not playing it. There's another lightning bolt for Jameson. Just keeps forcing the issue.
Lightning bolts.
DeMar's deep in the tank here.
Either of these guys going to have time to win this game?
They don't seem to be in a hurry to do it, I'll tell you that. Suppose he activated the Blink Moth? I didn't see him tap for that, but he must have already been active. All right. He's going to sack 3 things to kind of eat the lightning bolt here. And that was all with the Hangerback Walker on the stack.
This is the final call.
Hangerback Walker resolves.
Final call to sign up for the 2-minute giant tournament. If you are a single person and wish to play in this team event, please make your way to the stage. We will try for matchmaking.
All right, well, here comes the Ravager. James Sung's at 13.
Please make your way to the stage and we'll try to hook you up with a person of your playback equipment. Once again, this is the last call to sign up for the 2-headed giant tournament. Last call is time for the 2-headed giant
Sure,
tournament.
go to 9.
If you haven't signed up yet,
Both of these players are sitting at 5-0. So looking for that beautiful start to their day at 6-0. Only one of them can get it, and maybe neither. Passes the turn back to James. He's got a nice little board state going here. Mendelian Click and a Huntmaster.
James has got a blood moon in his hand.
See that.
Doesn't help a whole lot on this board.
Not going to risk the Huntmaster in combat here. He's just going to attack with both of the others. I guess Brian's considering if he wants to block here. No.
Electrostatic bolt.
Dismember, I think, is what he's going for here. I think he's kind of pump faked it. And there's a Tarmogoyf for James Sung.
Do we know what? Oh, it's extra turn number 5.
This is turn number 5.
Not sure if our audio is still working or not. We can't hear ourselves, but
All right,
sounds
well,
like you can still hear us. That's what really matters.
all right, so James passes the turn back. There's a Mox for Brian DeMars. He's got a hanger back. And boom, here comes the big boy. Currently a 4-4, but this thing can get out of hand very quickly. especially with that hanger back walker looming. Can get a counter on that, sack the 3 things. And get in for a ton of damage. James Sung's at 11. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Plus burn is enough to kill him, so he's going to have to block here, assuming he doesn't have anything in his hand.
Now the 5 means Tarmogoyf's a 5/6, and the 1 means this is extra turn number 1. Is that what's going on?
Oh look, there's our Tarmogoyf graphic, Randy.
I
Oh,
like it.
Tarmographic.
Much better.
5/6. Goodness sakes, I can see why they're in turns here. Taking some time on these decisions. I mean, they got to do it. I don't blame them, but it does add up. Okay, add a thing to my hanger back, sack it, make 3 guys.
All right, so now it's a 5/5 Ravager. It's unblocked? Is that what's going on?
I think so.
Bolt you.
Uh-oh. Counterspell incoming? Mana leak that? Oh, mana leak it.
Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't have the mana to pay for that, so that happens.
And Brian's obviously happy to know that that's happening before he decides how all in to go on this Ravager. Looks like he's done at 5 now.
Take 5. Well, reduces past the turn back here. Turn number 2. DeMars is at 12. What is it? James does have lethal here.
So a cryptic command? Tap all your guys?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
He can bounce the land and tap the team.
That's not good for Brian DeMars.
Well, can Brian actually fizzle this though? Can he just turn it into a creature,
if
sacrifice
he eats the
it,
land,
and then yeah.
Why did James give it a target? All he has to do is draw a card, right?
Yeah, well then that's right. And since there's no mana left over for Brian, he actually can't block anyway.
Right. Bouncing the land is a fatal mistake here.
It very well
Brian
may be.
should tap that for mana, activate
Yeah.
it, eat it with Arcbound Ravager.
Yep.
Now Cryptic Command has 1 target. That target goes away. Now it fizzles
And he doesn't
instead
get any
of
of the
resolving.
rest. Yeah.
And so the creatures don't get tapped. If James had tapped all creatures and drawn a card, then it would just resolve no problem. But when a targeted spell loses its only target,
Yeah, and this was
it
5,
fizzles.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is exactly lethal.
Wow. Big mistake from James Sung. And he just realized it.
Yeah, that's brutal. Now, he still has attacks. Remember, those are only 1/1 flyers left, but he doesn't need to leave a blocker. Wow, he's going to have to try to get him to whittle down. Oh, he's left Vendilion Click back to block in case DeMars moves in, so he needs him to block 2 of these. And then he'll have a wolf to block the Ravager and a flyer to block.
DeMars has a bunch of artifact creatures, any one of which he can dump all the Arcbound Ravager tokens onto.
Yeah, totally. That's what I'm saying. He's trying. He needs him to block.
He's trying to
both.
bait Brian into
Yeah, but
making a bad block.
Right, but he
Yeah,
didn't
Brian
fall
just
for
attacks with everybody.
Yeah,
And
it did not work. Brian was like, "Sure, take it." And here comes the team. Block, and then, like you said, he can just dump the rest of them. Now he does
reaches
have,
for his land. That's
yeah,
a bluff.
That's such a tell.
Such a tell.
And that's gonna do
Brian
it.
DeMars saw right through it. Did not worry about the untapped mana. Went for the kill, and it worked.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, that will do it for round 6 here from Oklahoma City.